To test the force required to open or close an element, such as a door or fire extinguisher cabinet, or to test the force required to activate an operable part of a control, one would use a pressure gauge, a double action pressure gauge, or a digital pressure gauge. An analog pressure gauge is made of several parts. First, you have the rubber O-ring and the measurement field showing both pounds and kilograms. It is important to read the correct side of the O-ring. Second, you have a slip-resistant tip intended to grip the door or control as you test the force. To measure the force, you would start with the O-ring at 0 in the measurement field. Then, placing the slip-resistant tip on the door control, push with a slow and steady fluid motion until the door fully opens or the control activates. Remember to measure at a point where the user would actually use the mechanism. For an accessible low drinking fountain, you would test the force required to create a full stream of water, or with a dispenser, the amount of force required to actuate the dispenser. For a lavatory faucet, you would test the force needed to achieve a usable flow of water. In each case, as you push, the rubber O-ring will move and the resulting force will be displayed in the measurement field. A digital pressure gauge can also be used to test the force of aforementioned controls. Follow manufacturer instructions on how to calibrate it and navigate the control buttons. As with the analog gauge, measure at the point where the user will utilize the mechanism and push with a slow, steady, and fluid motion. To test the accuracy of your analog gauge, slowly push the tip of the calibrated digital gauge against the slip-resistant tip of the analog gauge until it reaches 5 pounds of force. You know that the analog tool is accurate when the bottom edge of the O-ring on your analog gauge reads the same number on the digital gauge. A double-action analog pressure gauge contains a hook located at the end, opposite the slip-resistant tip. Please use caution near the tip of the hook, which can be sharp. The double-action hook is intended to test the force required to open, close, or activate a door control by pulling. As you pull, the rubber O-ring will move and the resulting force will be displayed in the measurement field. Again, it is important to read the correct side of the O-ring. To measure force using a double-action hook, you will simply place the hook around the control and pull in a steady fluid motion until the control is actuated.